Adi Christopher. I'm here this afternoon to demonstrate how to make one of my favorite African dishes, and it's called moi moi in Africa. But here, I think we could name it something like beans pudding because it's made from black-eyed peas. Before you start, you have to gather up your ingredients because you have to make the sauce and then the beans. For the beans, you need a packet of black-eyed peas. That's the only beans we use to make it in Africa. You also need a can of corned beef, or if you can't get that, you can get yourself like ground beef or ground chicken. And you also need a bowl of medium-sized bowl of onion. You need a Knorr seasoning cube, Knorr, Knorr. That's the kind we use. You also need hot pepper. One is enough because it's really hot. You also need a can of tomato paste, not the puree, but the paste. And you also need salt to season it. When you gather up all the ingredients, you also need a packaging material. In this case, we use foil. And before we start folding up the foils. How you do it is you take the whole foil, long foil, you cut it up in rectangular pieces. You fold it up once and make the two sides lap. Then you fold up the two ends that are open and leave one end open from where you put the puree beans. After you do that, you soak up your beans. You put the beans in water and let it rest for 10 minutes. And after it rests for 10 minutes, you start diskinning it. You do that by rubbing it between your palms, and you do that and you keep doing it until you're sure that all the skin of the beans is gone. You sieve it off and soak it again for 10 minutes. While it's soaking, it's time for you to start preparing your sauce for the moi moi. You put your oil on the fire. You need 3 tablespoonfuls of olive oil. If you use any kind of oil, you can use vegetable oil, but I use olive oil always because it is more healthy than any other oil. After you put the 3 tablespoon full oil in the pan, you let it cook, warm up for like 2 minutes. When it's warm, you put in your chopped up onion, which you should have chopped up by now. You put in the chopped up onion and allow it to simmer for about 2 minutes. You also put in some pepper, the chopped up hot pepper into the pan and allow it to simmer for some time. While it's simmering, your beans is also getting ready by the side. After it simmers for like a minute, you put in your tomatoes. By now you should have opened your cans, put the can of the corned beef and the tomatoes. You put in your tomato and stir it into the oil until it mixes very well with the oil. Allow it to simmer for about 2 minutes or so, and then you add your corned beef into the tomato boiling and the in the pepper and onion. You mix it up again with the spoon and allow it to cook for some time. While it's cooking, you open up your bowl of Knorr cube, take it out, you put a little bit of salt to season it to taste, and then you put the Knorr seasoning, mix it up, turn it up in the pot, and make sure it's cooking all the way around it. And when you taste it and you feel like it's tasty enough for you according to your taste buds, you put the sauce down. It should take about 10 minutes to prepare the sauce. When you put it down, you take the beans, sieve off the water in it, put it in the blender and grind it up to a very soft puree. It has to be soft such that you can't even feel the seeds of the beans in it. After you have blended it or grinded it any way you choose to call it in a grinder, you pot it out in a pot, a very big pot, put the sauce into the mashed up beans and turn it up. Continue to stir it until it's mixed up very well with the beans. You add some water so that it won't be thick. It has to have a little bit of its consistency. Shouldn't be too thick and it shouldn't be too soft. You just for 1 pack of beans you add 2 cups of water and you mix it up and make sure it is really mixed up so that you can't even feel any lumps in it. After you mix it up, you taste it. You might still need some salt at this time because you only put some salt in the sauce. It depends on your threshold for salt. You add more salt to it to taste. And when you feel that the salt is good enough, it is time for you to start putting the beans into the prepared foils, which you already did and put by the side. You put in 2 big soup spoons into each foil and fold it up. It depends on how you cut up the foil. Yeah, if you have a smaller size of foil, you put in just about half of the capacity of the foil and fold up the mouth so it doesn't spill in the water when you start cooking it. You do that for every foil that you use, and you keep doing it until you're sure that you've put all the beans in all the foil. You put the pot on the stove to warm up a little bit, and after it has warmed up, you put some water in it and put the um, packages of foil more into the pot and cover it up. Allow it to cook for between 30 and 45 minutes. It should be done by 45 minutes. But to check if it's really done, you take a fork and stick it into the moi through the foil. If it sticks on the fork, then it's not done. But if it doesn't stick, it's done. And it should be good to eat after it cools. And allow it to cool, because when it's hot, it's really very soft and you might not be able to eat it. So allow it to harden up some for about 2 minutes, and then it's ready to serve for dinner. You can eat it alongside a cup of juice or water, whatever your choice of drink is. Thank you very much. I think I've done justice to giving you a demonstration of how to prepare moi moi, which is a local Nigerian food.